Something odd is going on with the IMF. The IMF recently changed their forecasts for growth, specifically for Russia this year. And I'll show you the numbers in a second, but the reason why this is odd is because it's completely at odds with what even Russian economists are expecting for their own growth for this year. Take a look with me at this recently published World Economic Outlook from the IMF for 2023. If we go down to page 6, we can see this large table that shows what their estimates for last year and their projections for this year and next are for growth around the world. Here is Russia, which they say had a decline of 2.2% for 2022. You can see that for 2023, they anticipate a growth of about 0.3%. Now you're probably thinking, well, 0.3% growth, that's pretty flat. That is not very good. But you have to remember, this comes as a revision based off of their last estimate that the economy in Russia would fall by close to 3%, showing a 2.6% difference. Now, 0.3% is not going to hold a candle to, again, just the projections because anything can happen, but it's not going to hold a candle to what they anticipate the United States, many other countries will do this year as well. They anticipate 1.4% for the US, 1.8% for Japan, 5 and 6% for China and India, respectively. But what's interesting is looking at the countries that it anticipates will do worse than Russia. Taking a look at Germany, they anticipate 2023, Germany will see only 0.1% growth, and they anticipate the UK will decline by 0.6%. Now, you're probably looking at these numbers and thinking, what is the big deal? This makes a lot of sense. You have a country that exports energy, you've got a world right next to it that needs a lot of energy and has been, like Germany, decommissioning basically free energy, nuclear, and has been resorting to coal and having to buy more and more expensive natural gas from other places because Russia is heavily sanctioned, which is just increasing the profits for the stuff that Russia is selling. So yeah, of course this makes sense. But there's two things that are odd about this. Number one, this is coming from the IMF. This isn't Zero Hedge or RT News. The other reason this is odd is because of what the consensus is by everybody else. Russia's own Ministry of Economy anticipates a 0.8% decline. Consensus among Russian economists expect a 1.5% decline. The World Bank obviously expects a negative 3.3% performance, and even the central bank in Russia anticipates a 4% decline. And again, just a few months ago, the IMF was also anticipating a large drop, just like the consensus from everybody else. But there are signs that the Russian economy may be turning around recently as things like imports have started to improve again. They have found alternate supply routes through countries friendly to Russia. And there's some speculation that the widespread shortages will force them to end their invasion of Ukraine. Now, this is an area I don't know much about, but from what I do know, it seems much more likely that Russia will escalate things before they decide to end things. And given the fact that it seems like all the sanctions in the world have done very little to harm Russia economically, it doesn't seem like there's much more on the financial front that Western nations can do to try and stop Russia. This is because Russia is still continuing to sell things like oil, gas, coal, fertilizer, uranium, and food. All things that the rest of the world desperately needs and doesn't have a way to get otherwise. On the other hand, the sanctions are having some sort of an impact given the fact that Russia is currently importing semiconductors through washing machines from Georgia. As becomes very obvious, the more you watch projections and forecasts is that nobody can accurately tell the future. However, the more you study history, the more you recognize patterns. And one of those patterns is that the one who controls the means of production of the stuff that the world will always need, no matter what, is the one who will be able to continue to produce wealth no matter what. And if you'd like to know my proven system for bear market investing, identifying the best companies in the world and identifying the best price to buy those companies at so you know you're getting them on sale, get my bear market investing guide linked in the description below. As always, really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.